So we've mentioned throughout the presentation about how a lot of children with sensory differences, particularly those with autism, tend to be quite good at their visual processing. So they get easily overstimulated from a lot of visual information, but it's one of their strengths, and that we should play to that and help them use it to their advantage in learning and play and social interaction. So there's lots of different tools that we can use, and if you have speech and language therapy involvement, they should be able to provide you with some resources to help your child. So that might include PECs, a teach programme, or a visual timetable, or just simply symbols or photographs of things around their environment to help them to be more independent in things like putting things away, finding their belongings, and planning what they're doing. So for example, particularly with older children, sometimes it helps to print out class instructions or instructions at home to help them understand what we expect of them, and it gives them that little bit more independence. Another really helpful piece of equipment to have in a kit is to have visual timers. And this is really helpful for children with sensory differences because they often have problems with planning and organising, and the concept of time can be quite tricky for them. So if we tell them that it's just 5 minutes until they are having their dinner or until a lesson finishes, they sometimes find that really difficult to understand in their head. So having a visual piece of equipment like a timer can give them that information, and they can easily relate that whilst the sand is going down, that's when they have to engage in that activity, and when the sand has finished, then the activity stops. Other strategies, and particularly that parents like to use at home, are things like singing particular songs that are familiar to the child and they understand how long that's going to last. So quite often we have parents that will sing a particular song whilst they're brushing their teeth, for example. There's a really good online resource on YouTube for Hey Dougie. It's called the Toothbrushing Song, and I would recommend looking at that as a first port of call to try at home if you're having issues with brushing teeth. When we're doing sensory work with children, both at home and at school, that we can set expectations. So we know that some children really quite enjoy their sensory activities that they're doing, which is a good thing, but sometimes they want to engage in them so that it distracts them from a lesson or from engaging in something at home, like practicing getting dressed, for example. And so it can become a little bit of an avoidance strategy. So again, your visuals are really good because it's reminding them that this activity is coming to an end, and then you will be going back to the lesson, or we're going to practice tying shoelaces, for example.